Hello, Stampers. So I have a couple of things. First of all, notice I finally got the new Tim Holtz Tonic glass craft mat. I'm sorry about the light there. I don't know how to fix that. The light is permanently fixed, so I can't move it. What's cool is this mat is a glass mat. It's very heavy duty. I mean, it's very, very heavy duty. But it'll allow you to do your mixed media, painting, inking, and then it has this removable non-stick mat that you can do things on, and then take this off and clean it up. And then it has a white palette underneath for those of you that like to do watercoloring with like the distress inks and things like that. I got this as a birthday gift from one of my friends. It was on back order for a while and it just arrived, so I'm very excited about that. And you can get replacement mats, and they also have like scraper tools designed to clean off any of the media you have on there. So paint, gesso, things like that. Plus, because it's glass, you can heat emboss over it. So I'm very excited to get to work on this. Anyway, so we're going to make a card today. This is the card we're going to make. And we're focusing on this background. So this background is the #1 pinned item on my Pinterest page. It's very simple to do, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. All right, so I'm going to re-angle you guys a little bit here. Bring you down closer. All right. So hopefully you can see a little better without so much of the glare. All right, so a couple things we're going to use. Most of these items are Stampin' Up! Items. The first one is the Birch Tree embossing folder. And what we need is just a piece of Whisper White cardstock paper. And I have this cut to 5 1/4 by 4. I have a brayer. Now I wanted to show you guys on the brayer. This is an older brayer. This is a speedball brayer. You can probably find this in most craft stores. The brayer that I normally have on there is this one, which is a very hard rubber black brayer. It is very, very tough. You can see it's not very easy to squeeze. This is the one I usually use, but for today's demonstration purposes, we are going to use this one. This is a very soft rubber. Okay, not super soft like spongy, but just a little bit softer rubber. Think of like a pencil eraser. Okay, so this is the brayer that we want to use. And that just snaps in. And some people clean their brayer, some people don't. I always clean mine. It's personal preference. The ink that we're going to be using is Soft Sky. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that Soft Sky and we are going to move our brayer forward and lift when we get to the end and go back to the beginning. So roll, lift, back to the beginning. We don't want to go back and forth with our brayer or it won't get full coverage of ink. So lift at the end and roll back again. Okay, then we're going to take our embossing folder and we want to ink on the side where the trees are depressed so that the background is up, the trees are down. Okay, and we're just going to take our brayer and just roll that ink on there. Now, because this is just such a light blue color, you're really not going to see too much of it. You'll be able to tell that your folder has ink on it because it's going to glisten. You know, it's going to look like there's something on it. But it's a really clear color. You're not going to see too much of it. And then I just have a scrap piece of paper on the side here, and I just roll my brayer on it to get that excess ink off. And later on, I'll clean it with some spray and a towel. Okay. The next part of this is we're going to take some old olive ink and we're going to take one of the trees from the most popular set, Lovely as a Tree. If you do not have this stamp set, please get it. This is the most versatile set. There's so many different things you can do with it. And we are going to use this little pine tree here. So we're going to stamp the tree up in old olive, and you want to make sure your stamp is all the way down on your block as close as you can get it. Okay, down there. You don't want to put it in the middle. Because what we're going to do is we're going to stamp it down towards the bottom of the scene here. And yes, you're going to stamp on your embossing folder. I promise it's not going to hurt it. Let me put a little piece of white paper underneath so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So we're going to stamp this tree 3 times on the embossing folder right over the blue ink we just stamped with the soft sky. And you just want to stamp down and lift up. You don't want to do any wiggling. Okay, that was the hardest part of this whole process. I know some of you guys are squealing right now because you stamped on your embossing folder. It's not going to hurt it. So now we're going to take our piece of paper and we're going to gently lay it in the crease there and drop it. Okay, now I'm going to be using my Gemini Junior, which by the way is on HSN today, if they have any left. The sandwich we're going to use in the Gemini Junior is cutting plate, embossing folder, magnetic shim, and the other cutting plate. Okay, you're not using the white milky plastic sheet. And we're going to count to 9 and let that go through the Gemini. All right, there we go. Ta-da! So now we have this soft sky black background with the birch trees embossed, and it has the green trees peeking through, right? So to clean your embossing folder, all you're going to do is just spray it with a little cleaner and wipe it down. Very simple to do. You want to make sure you thoroughly get it cleaned. I usually do a couple wipes because that ink will transfer the next time you emboss with it. So just take the time to clean that and your brayer when you're done. So that was the hardest part. Then we're going to assemble it on our card. So I have our card base here with the heavyweight cardstock cut to A2 size. Just going to use some Tombow multimedia glue because it gives us a little wiggle time. I want a slight border. Press that down. Okay, so the next part would be to put our sentiment inside. The sentiment is using the Thoughtful Banner sentiment set. This is a very versatile set. As you can see, it's a very clean font. It's got a lot of phrases here, and it has some nice little banners. You can get, I believe there's a framelets to go with this. I don't have them. They're very small, so I just fussy cut them. The other thing that's nice is they're photopolymer. You guys know I love the photopolymers. So I just stamped out this one in Stampin' Up's basic black ink, and then I put the word congrats in there somewhere. So I'm just gonna, and then I fussy cut that out. You can see that. And I didn't want to put it on the outside of my card because I thought it was distracting. So I'm just going to put that on the inside of my card. So pretty simple. And then the last thing you can do is add a card to this. I think this is a great masculine card. Now, I will tell you, I do not have the Stampin' Up cards. I will show them to you if you're interested in them. The catalog has this set here, which has this card here. And this is called the Guy Greeting Stamp Set. It's 22 stamps. You can get it in wood mount or the red rubber cling mount. It is not a photopolymer stamp set, but it's very masculine, has that old school vibe to it, some great sentiments. Honestly, I didn't buy this stamp because there is a lot of Father's Day things on here, and I lost my dad several years back, so I don't make a whole lot of masculine cards. There's also this one, which is, again, more masculine, but there's a nice motorcycle on that one. But I'll link this below if you want to take a look at that. So the one that I have is a Tim Holtz stamp set, which is this one here, called Vintage Auto. You can see. And I just took this car, and I stamped it out in black ink. And then if you wanted to color it in, you could color it in. On the first card, I did color it in. On this card, I just cut it out. And all I did was attach some dimensionals to the back. Now another thing you can do is just like we stamped the trees on the embossing folder, you can stamp this, but then it makes it look like the car is behind the trees and we want the car to look like it's in front of the trees. So I'm just going to use the dimensionals and attach that down. So there you go, guys. A very simple masculine card. In the winter time, you could even put white spots on there and make it look like snow, like it's in the woods. But I really wanted to highlight the stamping on the embossing folders and getting color out of there. So you have the blue background, you have the green trees, and it's very simple to do. So there you go, guys. I hope you liked this video. If you have any questions, please post them below. I will link the Stampin' Up! Items down below. I will also try to find a Tim Holtz stamps for you if you want to order them. Thanks for watching, and keep on stamping. Bye.